hit a long way. Out on the run is Liriano, and he makes the catch! An amazing catch! Sails the ball back to first base, and then...
Yeah.
Great.
Anyway.
So, moving on. What's next? You had an interesting story to tell. Something you read. Let's discuss
Yeah,
that.
I know the Saudi plan, right? The global T20
Yeah,
league. The
yeah.
the
The
bit
article
that
that
caught
came in
my
the
eye
Age.
is yeah, and the bit that and obviously comes in the age because I think you have a fair idea of who the guy is who's behind this whole thing. Uh, he is an Australian, so yeah. But the whole idea of modeling it on tennis Grand Slams, where you have these, if you have four majors, it's it's a killer idea. I actually like it. Look,
Yeah,
let's face it, cricket is going franchise route anyway.
yeah,
More and more franchises coming up, more and more, and India, or at least Indian franchises buying into franchises around the world. It's just a matter of time before they start asking for, windows for their respective, at least the bigger global franchises or national franchises, whatever. So if it's going franchise anyway, then why not a Grand Slam? Why not have, about six or eight of the best teams playing
yeah,
knockouts, uh, and big prize money, big event. And Saudi, interestingly, has also said that they will play in four different locations, which basically means that India can very obviously be one of the locations.
yeah. Of course.
Somebody like Australia would probably one, and Saudi would probably get two. Somewhere
Yeah,
in Saudi
yeah,
and somewhere in yeah. Uh, so yeah, it's great. It's great for broadcasters will buy in big time. I'm guessing the television rights for that will be humongous. Uh, Saudi has money to burn, so that is not a problem. They are
yeah.
in this whole
That's the main problem solved for them. That's the main problem solved for them. I think the main
yeah,
challenge. Many have come up with this idea before. I don't know if you remember 10 years ago, SL led by the SL group, the Z
correct.
group led by Subhash Chandra. He was coming up with this idea, and the idea was very similar to what we read in the paper today. That
Yeah,
you'd have it in different parts of the world. At that time, they wanted to have, the same way like the Grand Slam. They wanted it in North America, the MENA region, the Middle East, North Africa region, and then they would have it in India, and then they would have it in the Asia Pacific region, and they would have them
right.
across those. So it's very similar to that because I was privy to that. I'd seen a bit of it, and I think the main challenge is that Saudi will not do an ILT20. They're very
No, they
clear. They
won't.
don't want to do one of
Yeah.
these. They don't want to be another T20 league, and the main crux is going to be, will BCCI allow Indian players? Because without that, this is just another league. It's a feast for bookmakers and punters to bet and make some money. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to be a clean game, but I'm saying that anything that is televised, you have the bookmakers and
Yeah,
punters,
absolutely.
coming there. But this one, if it has to be different, it has to be the monopoly of IPL to be broken, and you allow some kind of players. And in that, I think where they are at is possibly that they will not give the contracted players. I think that will really take the monopoly and dilute the whole impact of the IPL. So you have to look at another pool, and I think that's where the whole argument, or I think the whole negotiation will be happening, if at all.
I think there are two areas where negotiations are likely to happen. One area is obviously the players. They need the Indian players. And you're right, Saudi has the money to, you know, let's say persuade the BCCI. Yeah, you keep your contracted players and let us have the rest. There's no dearth of
Exactly.
talent in this country. There are plenty of. How many contracted players do we have between Tests, One Dayers, T20s? I think about 30.
I think it's 30, 30.
Yeah. I mean, look at the
Yeah,
look
it's
at the
30.
talent pool in India. In fact, funnily enough, Mitchell Stark is quoted recently. Remember, he's saying that on the same day, India can field a Test team, an ODI team,
Yeah.
and a T20 team in different parts of the world and still be competitive. That's the depth
We
of
said
talent
that
you're
here.
talking
We
about.
said that here on Sports and Pastime so many times that
Correct.
we could have
Yeah.
T20 and a T20 team playing together.
Yeah.
But just to look
So
at it,
you,
Prem, I mean, if you look at the IPL, if you look at the IPL auction pool, just the last one,
Mhm.
I think a total of 1,575 or 1,574 players put their names in. And the
Yeah.
IPL at the auction, they really pick only 250, right? Like they retain about 30, 40. So they are there
Correct.
for about 200, 210, which leaves you with another surplus of about 100 and like 1,500 players. And out of them,
Yeah.
the last time there were 1,165 Indians,
Yeah.
409 were the foreigners, but like 100, 1,165. I mean, you can easily have a league. You can have leagues out of those players because you're talking
Absolutely.
really, really good
And
talent.
even if you say that the talent, the quality drops off, I mean, you're not saying that there are 1,000 players in India who are all international level.
No, no, of
Even if you
course.
say, even if you decimate it, even if you say you have 100 players, you've got the
Right.
beginnings of a league, yeah, very comfortably.
Absolutely, absolutely. But the fact that they
I
want to do a
think the
grand slam and have it in four zones, that then you'll need a
Mhm.
bigger pool because, like, you know what's happening with cricket right now? How Mumbai Indians has got another franchise in the South Africa League, and then they've got
Yeah.
one, elsewhere playing in the BBL and everywhere. So,
The,
you're going to have to look at a
the,
larger pool than 100.
I mean, I was looking at the Mumbai Indians trophy not looking at the Mumbai Indians trophy cabinet, but I was trying to imagine the Mumbai Indians trophy cabinet. Everybody talks about, the five IPL wins, the two WPL wins. They've even won one in the United States, no?
Yeah, yeah, which will be again happening this July.
Yeah. So, so yeah, I mean, they're all over the place, and that is the probably the second point of discussion, whether some of the rich Indian franchises will get to partner with, or how does that work? I mean, Saudi will probably put in money to run the league to create the facilities, all of that. But will franchises be allowed to bid? Who are these? Who are these? Let's say 6 to 8 teams that take part in the Grand Slam. All of that is going to come up for discussion because at least the
Yeah.
major Indian franchises will want a hand in this
Absolutely. Prem, make no mistake that the future of cricket in the world is now in the hands of these six, seven franchises who are part of the
completely.
IPL. They are going to run world cricket, women's,
Oh
men's,
yeah,
what have you. They're going to take over because it's a slow process, but they're taking over. The moment they're going to be able to build their own infrastructure or be able to get that on, and I think it's just a slow process, but they're getting there. So they are going to
yeah,
decide. So I think the moment Saudi League will be announced, I mean they'll have the first right of refusal in that sense because without them you
absolutely
can't
agree.
really have the league. You can't have it. You can't have
Yeah,
a grand slam of that and you leave out a Mumbai Indians or a RCB. Then you're But I mean Saudi's done crazier things. I mean you saw the way how they won the entire golf tour.
yeah,
I mean they fought and they fought and eventually now it sits in their lap,
in their
and they're
pocket. Yeah,
doing that with every.
absolutely.
Yeah. One of the biggest prize
Yeah,
monies
but
in
I
F1
think
is now with them.
see one of the things that differs from the Saudi model that they've been following so far is the captive fan base and Indians. I mean, if you have a Grand Slam without Indian players, the Indian audience part of it will watch. But if you want that entire massive fan base and the Saudis would want it, I think they'll work with the BCCI and with the franchises rather than against it.
Absolutely,
Uh,
yeah.
so so yeah, it will probably be at least I can if it's an 8 team league, I can think of at least five Indian franchises that will be part of it for sure.
Easily. And there'll be no dearth of broadcasters because you saw who all lost out on the recent
Yeah,
IPL and the India rights. So
exactly.
you've got a Facebook waiting there. You've got the big giants, the tech giants are waiting to
Yeah,
take over. I mean, Amazon, Netflix are all falling back on sport, and I was just reading in the Wall Street Journal yesterday. Netflix and Amazon are now approaching YouTube influencers. They're going after
yeah,
YouTubers and saying, "You make this show, you decide what your audiences want to watch, and we'll bankroll it." So, it's a very simple game. The money is not a problem. I mean, the broadcaster is not a problem. Saudi will, bankroll it at the start. You've got the franchises who'll be waiting to go in, and you're getting the entire broadcast of the world. The Grand Slam idea
Yeah,
is just that.
yeah,
You're not looking just
yeah,
at India because that's already sitting with India. India already takes
yeah.
the biggest chunk of that. But you've got North America, which is big. You've got Africa, Europe, big markets for broadcasters.
Absolutely. And unlike all the other national franchises, yeah, India has its own captive audience, so it doesn't have a problem. But whether you take the PSL or the Bangladesh league or South Africa's league or whatever, these audiences are confined to those respective countries. Like you said, you don't have a global uh, something that attracts eyeballs around the world. IPL is probably the one that comes closest
Yes.
uh, to an extent, the BBL, but the rest of it is kind of neither here nor there. Maybe in number three position would be the 100. If I was, I mean, what I watch falls in these categories, right? I watch the
Yeah.
IPL uh, to the extent that I watch it. I watch BBL to the extent that I possibly can, among all my other, what do you call it, my preoccupations. And if there is time, I'll watch some of the highlights of the 100.
Yeah,
Beyond
but
that,
Prem, watch out
yeah.
for the South Africa. The South Africa T20 is a very well done league, and it's got the cricketers. They've taken the buy-in from the cricketers. Graham Smith leads it, and then
Yeah.
you've got the IPL former IPL CEO Sundar Raman, who's the real brain behind it. It's an amazing and it's got great potential. I think it might give the 100 a scare. Though 100 is it's got more money, but the South Africa T20 league is doing well. The first season that they ran was really good quality cricket,
Yeah,
and they ran it
it
really,
was
really well.
excellent. Yeah. Yeah, I've been hearing good things about that. I missed that entire league. Most of the time I was traveling on these reporting things and stuff, so uh,
Right.
I lost out on that. But I've been, I mean, I've mentally flagged it saying, okay, I have to follow this because something is happening over there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
In fact, I think the
man,
interesting part will be that, yeah, the interesting part is that you'll finally probably get to see Pakistani players in a league where everyone is playing, and that will
oh
complete a
yeah,
league because that's something that's not happening currently. And I miss that because, irrespective of the team as a whole, Pakistan cricket is struggling. As you saw, this
yeah,
morning, 92 all out against New Zealand. It was really sad. It was really sad the way they played. But it's a young side.
it was
But I think
sad, but
individual players, yeah, you want to see a Naseem, you want to see
yeah,
Agha, you want to see those players play at the individual level
yeah.
in T20.
I thought the only highlight of that Pakistan innings was what happened afterwards when the captain said we were 120 runs short. I was like, no shit, man.
I saw a meme this morning that said that it's unfair because we had to travel 132,000 miles and New Zealand
Yeah,
had to travel 0 miles, so they had the advantage. That's why we lost the game. I thought that was
yeah. Now this
hilarious.
is going to, yeah, now this is going to become a thing. But no, I agree. I mean, if this is a Saudi funded league, obviously the Pakistani players will not be excluded from that. So
No,
you
they
have
have to
that.
play.
And like you said, yeah, it completes a league in the sense that you will then have players from pretty much all the major nations playing.
Right. So it seems like it'll be finally a proper league that has all the world's best players coming together.
So I'll tell you what. Before the next episode, I'll leave you with a question. Think about it, and we'll talk more about that in the next episode. The question is simply this: if franchise cricket is a future of cricket, you can't accommodate franchise cricket, bilateral T20s, bilateral ODIs, bilateral tests, ICC tournaments in all three formats, and franchise cricket growing at this rate into a
Yeah.
12-month calendar, right? What are you going to drop?
I think the bilateral one dayers have to go away. They really have to go away. And I think even the T20 bilaterals have to go away. I think it's time to go back to those lovely 90s when you had triangulars and quadrangulars and you had the Australasia Cup and four teams playing, three teams playing. It just had another zing to it. I think it's become so boring to just see, like what we saw recently, a really bad washed out England team getting bashed every second day by an Indian team. it just took the whole fun out of it. It's just that India's playing, so it's exciting. But other than that, those bilaterals really have to go away, Prem.
So you want a triangular where England gets bashed by two teams? But
Yeah, I don't mind that. At least you'll see some quality cricket and the other two teams play. You'll at least get
okay.
two good games.
No, but I'll tell you the reason why I put that question, and maybe it's an exercise you can try as well. Just for fun, I took a calendar and I tried to
Okay.
create a calendar that gives space for franchise cricket and not just IPL, for franchise cricket in general, and also for all of these things. And I'm damned if I could figure out a way. Just try it and see. It's
Yeah,
great fun. It's like
I
playing,
will.
those jigsaw puzzles. It's just insane.
And
But
you've left out the senior cricket. What just happened, and we saw
yeah,
Sachin. We got to see Sachin bat again. That was
yeah,
phenomenal. The crowds were there.
yeah,
I think they must have got decent TV ratings. As you see Brian Lara, you see Sachin Tendulkar. I think it was a feast. So that's another segment you've forgotten to add into that calendar there. I'll put
yeah,
that in the exercise sheet. We have to accommodate those
yeah.
two.
At least one thing is with senior cricket, it can coexist or be played at pretty much the same time
Yeah.
as the other thing, and that's fine. People will watch that. People will watch a bit of this. All of that works. But just regular international cricket, I'm trying to figure out. You know where this is going, and you know that. I mean, we've been talking about this for quite some time. We've been saying this is going in the direction of franchise cricket, but I think what is now going to happen over the next 2, 3 years is this trend towards franchise cricket is going to accelerate. And when
Yes.
that
Yes.
happens, yeah, there's a lot of fun and games coming up for international cricket.
Absolutely, Prem. And next week also we have to talk about the IPL because
Oh
that's
yeah,
knocking. It's a week away. So let's start by looking at the four teams that made it to the playoffs and then the other contenders to the throne. But looks like a very, very exciting IPL this time. I can't wait to see Head and Abhishek take on the bowlers. They'll be batting together.
yeah,
I am really waiting to see that happen. So until
yeah.
next time, Prem.
Take care, and yeah, you guys are in the middle of Ramzan, right? So
Yeah.
all the best for that.
Okay.
When is
Thanks.
Eid, by the way?
I think should be end of the month. Should be 30th. I think 30th.
Right.
Yeah,
So we'll
29th or
meet before
30th.
that. Right.
Cool.
Take
We
care,
will.
and
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Bye.
bye.
Hit a long way. Out on the run is Larry. Oh!